Hey guys, and welcome back. And welcome to part 6, final part of the 6-video project, where I take cars from previous Gran Turismo games and rate them on a scale of how likely they are to actually come back into the series. For the final installment of the project, we're gonna be talking about cars from Gran Turismo 6. And just to quickly clarify, only newcomers from Gran Turismo 6. And so, with that clarified, let's get into the list. Starting off with the Abarth Grande Punto. And being honest, this car is not likely, purely to the fact that Abarth is just not a priority in general. I know these LM race cars are nothing but filler to the list, and not likely in general. But you know me, I ruined the hopes of GT4 and GT5 fan favorites returning, so why not do the same with GT6s? So, is this car returning? Not a chance. Same can be said for the TZ3 Stradale, being honest, but not to the exact same level. Having the V12 Vantage would actually make a bit of sense given we already have the race car variant but not the road variant. But that alone is not gonna increase its chances to anything above a D tier. This car appeared in the data mines and is therefore one of the most likely cars to return. And on the opposite end of that spectrum, we have the R8 LMS, which doesn't have confirmation or any fans begging for Polyphony to bring it back. Also partially because there are newer R8 race cars that replaced it. Instant E tier because this thing is a prototype, and it would be completely redundant if it was brought back. Like the 2010 I just talked about, it's not likely because newer R8 race cars replaced it. F tier trio. And that's mainly because the fact that these cars appeared in GT6 at all is a miracle on its own. Now, despite what HSG Automotive is making you believe, this car does actually appear on the data mines. Let's be honest, this thing pretty much got replaced by the M3 GT, which returned before it. Let's be honest, this car would pretty much just be nothing but a duplicate to the safety car variant of the M4. This may not be the most likely thing, but it's also not the least likely either. And that same way of thinking can be used for the El Camino. This fictional race car variant of the Camaro is not coming back. I think that should be pretty obvious. Meanwhile, the Chevy Nova pretty much follows what I said about the CTSV and the El Camino. These two duplicate race cars are not returning, and I think that should have been obvious from the start. If the road car version of it got replaced, then you might as well say goodbye to the race car version as well. It is not returning because, well, it should be obvious. It's a concept car. I know you guys love to hear me say the thing, so I'll say it one more time. We're talking about possibilities, not miracles. This, just like the Challenger SRT8, got replaced by a newer model year, and therefore that is the reason why it's not coming back. It is not coming back because, well, it would be seen as nothing but a duplicate to the 3rd gen Viper that we already have. The road version got replaced, therefore the race car version is doomed to fade into obscurity. Unfortunately for all the FXX fans, I do not see it returning unless a miracle happens. Same can be said for the Fisker, honestly. This is not returning because it got replaced by the 2015 heading into GT Sport. I don't think people would really want to see this limited edition of the Mustang returning. Yeah. Or this because both of them pretty much got replaced by the Shelby GT350R from 2016. These cars are not returning ever. And same can be said for the Integra touring car because, well, not even the road version of the DC5 returned yet. As infamous as this car is, it is not returning because it got replaced by the Fit Hybrid. Nor do I see the HSV10 being all that likely. Same can be said for this thing because, well, it's a concept car. Not only that, but we already have a production version of it in the game. If the CRZ's not likely, then the touring car variant of it is not likely either. The fact that this Hudson vehicle made it into GT6 at all is a miracle on its own. And even though the XKRS is not as much of a miracle, I really don't see it being all that much more likely. I'd say D tier. I know this will make all the Americans upset, but we're talking about possibilities here, not miracles. I feel like at this point the Crossbow Street is just a burning memory. Even though this is way more likely than the Range Stormer, I wouldn't say all that much given Land Rover itself did not return to the series yet. The road version did not return, therefore the race car version is not returning either. I really hate having to repeat myself. Same can be said for the CSSR variant of the ISF. Meanwhile, the Nürburgring package of the LFA would just be seen as nothing but a duplicate to the LFA itself. I mean, with how broken this car was in GT6, do they really think this would not be broken in GT7? Either way, likeliness is not on this car's side. F tiers for both this and the 111R, because Polyphony does not care for fictional cars anymore. Meanwhile, this is up there in the top 3 of being the most likely Lotuses to come back. And even though I don't see the Europa S2 following it, I do see the Europa Special following it. Even if it's not as likely. This, just like the Fit RS, got replaced by a newer model year. Let's just say this car pretty much falls into the exact same category as all the LM race cars I talked about in the GT3 and 4 videos. Mini itself is not a priority, which is why I don't see this or the Countryman returning anytime soon. The road version itself got replaced by the Evo 9 MR, so yeah, it's fading into obscurity and there's nothing you can do about it. Same can be said for the Lancer Evo 10 rally car given the road version itself also got replaced by a newer model year. And also because this car is fictional. And we already know how Polyphony is with fictional cars nowadays. Unfortunately for all the people who like the Monster Sport, I do not really see it returning unless a miracle happens. Let's be honest here, why would Polyphony feel the need to bring back the Nissan Leaf? This, like many cars on the list, got replaced by a different model. This is pretty much just a livery-less version of the freaking GTR Nismo GT3, so yeah, it's not coming back. And this is not coming back because it would be a duplicate to the one that already came back. As if bringing back the other two wouldn't be duplicate enough. Nor do I see the GTR Nismo returning because it got replaced by the 2017. These 3 cars belong in F tier. F for fictional. And also F for not returning ever. Let's be honest, we already have a Huayra in the game, so there's no need to be bringing yet another Huayra. I'd say this is the most likely Plymouth in the series to return to the newest installment, but being honest, that doesn't really say much. Even though Polyphony has plans to bring back SEMA winners, I do not see that said SEMA winner being the Posse Motorsports Camaro. The Clio got replaced by a newer model year. I know it's a different generation, but that still counts as it being replaced. I also do not see that said SEMA winner being the Stilo Engineering Red Devil. I would say this is likely, but I wouldn't say it is more likely than the regular hatchback Impreza. As for the S206, its odds of returning are low, but never zero. You know what, I don't feel like repeating myself, so I'm just gonna put this into whichever tier I put the Impreza Super Touring car in. And I'm also gonna put this into the same tier as the S800 RSC. This car pretty much follows the exact same thing that I said about the Monster Sport. It's not returning unless a miracle happens. And it looks like I have to repeat myself one last time. The Vitz is not likely, but even if it was, it would just get a ton of backlash if it was brought back. Being honest, I'm pretty sure the Gazoo Racing Toyota 86 was just a one-time addition to GT6. Let's be honest here, who the hell actually wants this thing to return? The incoherent silence when I asked that alone already tells me that this car is an E tier. And I'm not gonna treat the TVR Tuscan like it's any different because it clearly is not. And the race car version of the Golf Mark IV as well. It would be pretty fun to have this car return, however, I do not see that happening really. And finally, the Golf Mark 6R. is not likely. I don't know what you were expecting, being honest. And overall, that is the list. A unique selection of 95 GT6 newcomers that didn't return to the latest installment yet. If you agree or disagree with any of the points I've made, let me know in the comment section. And yeah, safe to say the 6-video project is over now. Now, there is a chance that I might do another video consisting of every single car I talked about in a full tier list ranking, but I wouldn't say that is the most likely thing to happen, being honest. Either way, these 6 videos were really fun to do, and I hope that you agree with me on whether or not these cars are likely or not. And with that being said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.